Get your copy of The Royal Mindset by using the link below.
Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's topic is an independent concept from the book. So this is just a video based completely on this topic, on this idea that we should live life like lions. And basically this idea is that we should, when we're doing something like a task, or if we're like working on a specific project, that we should focus on it 100%. And then when we're not working on it, we should be either resting 100%. So I'm going to use a few better examples. I guess the idea is that we learn to kind of really focus in on a task that we're doing and to do it properly. As humans, we're not really designed to multitask at a high level, to do multiple things at once. We really work best when we just focus completely on one thing. It's a bit like the idea of deep work. A similar example is if you're maybe studying, or you're trying to work on some sort of work for school or for university, or for even just work in general, and at the same time you're listening to music, at the same time you're maybe checking messages. It's going to take you a lot longer to complete that work. It's also going to, I suppose, possibly be work of a lower caliber than if you were to focus on it for 1 hour and do it, rather than spend like 3 or 4 hours just tipping away at it. And the same goes for periods of rest. So in this modern era, we have all these distractions, as I said before, like our phones are a big one, going onto websites like YouTube or TikTok. So that when we should be resting, when we should be kind of regaining our energy, we're really spending a lot of time distracting our brains, keeping ourselves entertained, when we should really be resting like 100%. And this is the idea of living life like a lion. That when you're working, you're 100%, or when you're doing something of meaning or of work, you're really focused on it. And then when you're resting, you're really like taking it easy. And you're not feeling guilty of taking it easy, but at the same time, you know that you've done work in the day already. So it kind of gives you that feeling that you know you've worked really hard on what you've had to do today, and now you can rest. And you can rest properly and thoroughly. And this way, you'll be more effective in all that you do. It's kind of like a high energy situation and then a really low energy situation. You're really like balancing your life that way. It's a bit like a lot of famous boxers would have lived like this too. They would have trained, they would have eaten, and then they would have slept. Then they would have woken up again, trained, eaten, slept, and they would have done this a few times a day. So they're really like focusing on what they need to do, which is just training, and make sure that they sleep in between, and they do nothing else. They just do these important things. And like even that kind of a rhythm sounds an awful lot like the way a lion would live. A lion would hunt, then it would eat, and then it would sleep. Hunt, eat, sleep. So obviously as humans are a lot much more complex than lions, but I think we can learn from this kind of focused strategy, as we could say. So yeah, obviously being super restful when you're taking it easy. I definitely think the reason why this topic is particularly relevant in this modern era is because of mobile phone technology, because of TVs, because of this idea that we're always in the attention economy. Even listening to a video like this YouTube video, for example, is perhaps not the best thing when you're meant to be resting. That's why I encourage people to listen to these videos, to not necessarily watch them, because there's nothing to watch, it's just me talking. But it's certainly possible that you could just listen to them while you're resting, and that way you'd have the best of both. Probably ideally you should even be listening. You should literally just be there resting for like 10-20 minutes, kind of grounding yourself, getting your energy back, and then going and focusing again intensely on what you want to do. Yeah, I think in general it's good to avoid what's the word called, kind of short-term gratification with things like phones. In general, it's the same thing that goes for sweets. This idea that when you're not working on something of great meaning, that you're kind of rewarding yourself with little tiny bits of low value how do you say, like, you're giving yourself gratification, you're taking gratification, you're giving yourself dopamine through using your phone, through watching videos on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, but you're not really resting during this period. Whereas instead, if we lived really like a lion, we would rest completely, then we would be so much more refreshed, so much more fresher in our minds as well, that we can then once again attack the task with almost an aggressive and kind of very committed energy. I probably am doing the best job of explaining this concept. I'm hoping you're kind of getting the idea. I do think if, like, a lot of entrepreneurs, when you listen to them, they often speak of having this energy that they feel almost guilty of not having done something that day that was productive. So entrepreneurs that actually get really successful have got this amazing drive to be able to get up every day, get up early, and to really work on projects. And then if they don't do it, they feel guilty. The same way that I might feel a little bit guilty for not having worked on the YouTube channel for over a couple of days or whatever. I might feel in the back of my head, yeah, I should really have done something the last couple of days. And this helps you to keep moving forward. But then the trick, the balancing this is then when you need to rest, that you can really rest properly. And a lot of entrepreneurs don't have this. They have this kind of continual need to keep working. It's a bit like, an example would be maybe Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. They're kind of workaholics. I think it's the correct term. They really can't ever switch off, as far as I understand from interviews and stuff that I've seen with them. They're always looking at the next project, always wanting to make things bigger and bigger, better and better. And in a way, it's a terrible life they lead, because if you're constantly working the whole time, it just seems like a poor balance. Whereas if you can learn to live like a lion would live, where you really do rest and you do kind of enjoy your spoils, then at least all the work is kind of worth it's worth something. You get this period of recovery. So I think this idea is really cool. This idea that you can justify resting and taking it really properly easy, almost like going on a holiday or whatever, and you can really like zone out and relax, because you know that in the past you've really focused intently on your goals. You've really worked really hard. And this is a bit like one of the chapters in the Royle Mindset where I talk about focus, where I suppose if you really want to develop a big project or want to fulfill a target, reach a goal, like it could be weight loss, it could be gym work, you do need this kind of intense focus. The same intense focus that a lion would have when it's stalking its prey or hunting. Same thing. So yeah, that's the basic concept. You've probably heard this quote before, and I think it's really useful to kind of keep in mind. And do you be able to use it to justify when you want to rest and you want to take it easy, so that you're not stuck in this kind of, I suppose, awkward cycle of forcing yourself to do work but then not doing it properly and really not getting the benefit of it in the long term. So yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching.
Get your copy of the Royle Mindset by using the link below.